went ahead and took all the fur off, all the skin off, everything I could, even including the bottom jaw. You cut around as much as you can, and anything that you can pull and cut off, pull and cut off. If you don't want to go to a taxidermist to this is going to be your most time and costly effective way to do it. Time being, it'll take you about 2 days, but you're not going to wait about 3 or 4 months to get it back. This here, I took off everything, the eyes, the tongue, the bottom jaw. I mean, anything that was soft, I cut off and gave it to either our chickens, our dogs, or our cats. And the skull I'm keeping, obviously. So what you want to do is you want to get a turkey fryer like this. It's not expensive. You can pick up used ones anywhere. And you want to get that to a rolling boil, like nice and hot, where it's steaming and it's bubbling and it's rolling. So when you get that, throw the skull in there, just the skull part. You don't want to dip these. You can, but I try not to. I don't want to change the color in it. So I'm not sure if it would, but I sure in the heck know that it will take some of the dirt out. So if you do that at the bottom, you're probably gonna have to wash the whole thing. So this here, just the white, the meat, that's the whole goal. Put that in, let it boil for an hour, even 2 hours, longer the better, and take it out. And you're gonna get a pressure washer. I mean, you can pick some cheap ones up. You only need a 1500 PSI one. You don't need anything crazy. 1000 PSI would even work on this. Put this in 2 hours. Once all the meat's gray, grab the pressure washer, blast it off, mine the teeth. The teeth will actually sometimes fall out. And if they do, make sure you keep them. They'll go right back in. Use some Gorilla Glue, some clear stuff. Glue them in, leave it overnight, they're gonna stay. Actually, you should do that to all of them anyway, but the ones that do fall out, make sure that they get glued in. There's no meat left at all on this right now. So I've gone and dumped out the water that just smelled awful from boiling it. I mean, I wouldn't even give that to my dogs. But went and dumped that out, and I filled it up with fresh water again, some of our well water. And I'm just getting it to boil again. And I'm gonna boil this one more time just to make sure I get any of the grease out of it that's left. Actually had a few teeth fall off. So I've got them back on now, but what I'll do is I'll just take a little glue and I'll just put it underneath here and stick it back. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. Just make sure that you know which way it goes, because before you do it, put a bunch of glue on, you put it on there, it only takes about 15-20 seconds for it to start getting sticky. So I'll make sure this is good to go here. Yeah. Okay, so like I said, I'll just put it on wherever I think it's gonna touch. Be fairly generous with it. I mean, there's a good amount of glue. So I just put a bunch pretty much everywhere on there. So what I like to do is just to give it a sec and get it a little tacky, and then I'll put it on. Basically it starts to kind of dry, and then you put it on. All the glue's dried now. I ended up putting not only the teeth on, but these bones as well here. And as you can see, it's dried pretty good. It's clear, so when you're doing the glue, make sure you're using something that'll dry clear. And if there's any excess on the outside of it, just wipe it off. I'm not sure if it would, but when you go to bleach this or whiten this, I'm not sure if the glue would stand out or not, but I just play it safe and take it off anyway. That being said, I went to a hair salon, a local one. Some of them, they don't want a sight of this because they think you're going to be doing your daughter's hair, your wife's going to be doing it, or whatever it is. But what was this, $40? And this was $11. So it's like a two-part, I guess. And you just mix it up. It gives you all the instructions on it. So this one's Wella lightener, and this one's the developer. I don't know anything about hair. I just have mine fall out. But this is what it'll look like once it's about ready to be applied. It's just kind of a paste is what it goes to, which is really nice. You want to get all the lumps out of it best you can, stir it around. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you're just gonna put it on and put it on the skull fairly thick, so you're not seeing skull. The more you put on, the wetter it'll get. I mean, you don't cover it so it's just looking like, you know, flour and water's pouring off of it, but enough that all the bone, it's covered. When you do that, do not touch it. Leave it for minimum 24 hours. 48 hours is better, and the longer you leave it, the whiter to get, but of course at one point it'll just stop getting whiter and you'll have to rinse it off. Nearly finished up here. I had to mix a second coat, so I doubled up another batch, so that's 4 times what the recipe calls for in the container there. So I'm putting it on fairly thick, as though it was I guess toothpaste. You know, you want to paste this on, not paint it. I forgot to point out too that antlers, do not put this on your antlers. Underneath is fine. Do not put it up here or on the brown unless you want some funky looking antler bases. So underneath isn't so bad, but on top, do not do it. You've got lots of time, so if you put some on it, just rinse it off, or not rinse it off, wipe it off, get it off there. A little dab of water too wouldn't hurt. Just make sure you get it off. Unless you want some tie-dye antlers. Yeah, it wouldn't look very good. So rinsed it all up. Didn't take much. 2-3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. Yeah, it looks pretty good, other than a couple little spots here and then here, but that's nothing for me. I don't care about that. That's fine. And it's just gonna sit up on my wall like decoration for a little while. So I think this is a job well done once again. And that container, I think I've used maybe $7 or $8 out of that container to do this skull. So it's a little bit of time and $8. I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna do it again next year.